Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. This isn't about whether these three men are good people or bad people. That's not what this is about. It's about responsibility. It's about holding people accountable and responsible for their actions. When they do something like this, they have to be held accountable and responsible. Nobody gets a free pass. Okay? Would you get a free pass? Who gets a free pass? No. The law basically says if you commit the crime, you're going to be held responsible. And ladies and gentlemen, when you come back with a guilty verdict on all the charges, this isn't saying somebody's a good person or a bad person. What you're saying is, you know you committed the crime. Now we know you committed the crime too. That's all it is. They know what they did. It's not like they don't know what they did. They know exactly what they did and they know why they did it. It's not a mystery to them. When you come back with your guilty verdict, all you're doing is telling them, we know what you did too. And we're going to hold you responsible for it. Because guess what you did? You turned this young man into that young man. That's what you did. For absolutely no good reason at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to find all three defendants guilty of all the charges in the indictment. Thank you very much.
All three. And that was my question, my 13th juror question. Did they put forth enough evidence to prove all three guilty of murder? We begin with our 13th juror comment of the day. Tonight coming from Seth. Dunikowski was playing 3D chess while the defense was out there playing tic-tac-toe. And Bremner, what do you think?
That's pretty good. I mean, I think really, I mean, when you look at this case, you know, did they have the law? I mean, did they have the authority to do what they did? And they didn't. And there wasn't a commission of a felony. And so then you look at whether they acted lawfully when they killed Arbery, and was it in self-defense? Like she said, they didn't have a right to act in self-defense. That was an unjustified assault by them. They falsely imprisoned him. That was felony murder. There was no basis for them to make a citizen's arrest. It's very clean. So I'm not sure about 3D chess because I've never played that before. I've definitely played tic-tac-toe before, and so I kind of like that argument. Yeah. Well done.
Here, tic-tac-toe usually ends up with a hung jury, by the way, when you play it. I mean, right? All right, Rye says tonight, I think there's a guilty verdict for the McMichaels, but I still don't know why the Roddy Bryan guy was charged. Bernarda Villalona.
Well, according to his attorney, Kevin Goff, he was charged because he was dumb, or God made him do it, in terms of why he actually went out there. So in terms of Roddy Bryan, I think it's going to be much more difficult to get a conviction on the intentional, on the malice murder for Roddy Bryan. However, I think that the prosecution was able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he's guilty of the felony murder. If they don't see that there's a causal connection of what he thought was going to happen in terms of the false imprisonment or attempted false imprisonment and the homicide itself, then that's why they have the last count in regards to attempt of committing the false imprisonment of a felony in this case. Plus, you don't really want to be bothered with the simple assault and the traffic violation. That's not what we're looking for. But in terms of the McMichaels, yes, felony murder, absolutely. William Roddy Bryan, I think in terms of it's either felony murder or the lower counts.
Lawanda tonight, I'm not sure about two of them, but definitely the son that shot him. I really don't think the son meant for that to happen, but they should have never chased and cornered Ahmaud like he was a wild animal. Mistake. Noah Pines. So do you see all three defendants in the same place, working in concert, all parties to the same crime?
I don't, Vinny. I think the malice murder may actually be a stretch for the state. I think they're going to get felony murder on the McMichaels. And then when it comes to Roddy Bryan, the question is, if he's a party to the crime, well, what was the initial crime? Following Arbery? I mean, that's not a crime. Arbery didn't die during the commission of his alleged felony of false imprisonment. He died because the McMichaels had guns and pulled guns and shot him, right? And so unless the state really hammered party to the crime, I think that Bryan is in a different position than the McMichaels.
And finally, Stang tonight, repeatedly, and the defense knew it too. I think the repeated requests for mistrial were purely to break the momentum of the prosecutor's questioning, arguments, or discussions. This case was very well presented. Ann Bremner, I'll give you the final word. We have about 10 seconds.
No, I think it's very well presented. I also think that all three will think back to the concert. You're in for a dime, you're in for a dollar, and the false imprisonment is the underlying felony that gets the jury there.
All right, Ann Bremner, Noah Pines, Bernardo Villalona, awesome job tonight. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday. We appreciate your time.
Thanksgiving.